Hi friends, welcome. I'm Chess. This is the Scapegoat Club, and in this video I'm going to talk about when sibling rivalry might actually be sibling jealousy. So stay tuned and we'll get into it. Hi folks, welcome back. So I'm Chess. I'm a psychotherapist, a relationship coach, and I work in the area of difficult families. I have one of my own and I've been specializing in this area for a little while now. And I want to talk about this idea of sibling rivalry that happens when we're adults. So I'm talking about when we're long past, hopefully, those kind of school and teen years when we're trying to understand and move into our own autonomy and really making our own space in the world. And we get to the point of being hopefully successful, independent, autonomous adults and wanting to have supportive, healthy, balanced relationships with everyone in our lives, including families and our siblings and our parents. So in this video, I'm going to talk specifically about being a scapegoat, the scapegoated sibling or child in the family. And what I'm going to label now is jealousy, but we might not have recognized it as that before. And actually, if we were even to go to our siblings or the rest of our family and say that, they would just dismiss it as it not being true. It might also feel really untrue for ourselves, because here's the thing, when we're scapegoated in a family, we are made the target because we're told that we have flaws. We're told that we're not good enough, that we're wrong, that we're a problem in certain ways, and all these faults are laid at our door. So it becomes this family idea, and often our own identity that we are somehow, the scapegoat is somehow flawed and not as good as the rest of the family members. But the problem with that is that it's actually, they've got it wrong, they've got it backwards, because what I see in my work, I've done so much work in the scapegoat space now, the reason we're scapegoated is not because of our flaws, but because of positive aspects of our character. And it's not to say that we're all brilliant and we're better than them all the time and that we should have these massive egos. But we are no more flawed than any other person. And unfortunately, in some difficult families, we can be a bit more honest, a bit more truthful, and maybe a bit more of a threat to the more challenged and difficult and toxic people in the family. So almost it's because of the strength of our virtues, we are targeted. First of all, let's take a second to say it's a really, really sad place when we are targeted because of our strengths. And it's really hard for a few reasons. It means that we end up with a very twisted view of who we are, and we don't learn to celebrate, and we can't appreciate and grow as to who we really are. Instead, we have family members who will either ignore the things that we're good at, they'll minimize them, they might be taken for granted, or we might be mocked for being good at things. So ways that difficult families deal with our strengths in the wrong way are things like saying, well, of course you've got a good job, it's because you got a good education because we paid for it, rather than, oh, because you worked really hard in school and in college and deserved the kind of recognition. Or they might just say, well, it's no big deal, or what's so special about that? Again, minimizing our accomplishments, minimizing our achievements. They might actually stop us and prevent us from doing something that we're good at. Parents might say, I'm not going to pay for you to take classes, or I'm not going to take you to the sports meet anymore. Or they might stop us seeing friends or a specific social circle if they feel threatened or that it doesn't feel right to them. Sometimes these family members, parents, siblings can kind of make fun of us if we're doing well. They can almost like mock our success, where like, oh, you did really well, I guess you're more important than us now. Do you want to speak to us anymore because you've done really good, or you've achieved this thing, or however it might come out. It's really, really sad when a family member can't be happy for our own success. And And I think that what can happen is that we can look at ourselves and think that we've done something wrong, or that are we bragging, or that we're flaunting, or that we're somehow in the wrong, when actually it's because of the insecurities of our family members, our siblings, whoever it may be, who maybe aren't doing as well, or they might think that perceive that we're achieving more than they have. And that is a very difficult space for them, especially when they're used to thinking that they're better than we are. The problem when we're in these roles then, especially a big problem with the scapegoat, is it's a catch-22 situation. We are targeted for not being good enough, and we're told that we're not good enough, whether it's they make up the reasons why we're not good enough, or they choose to twist the situation, but we're always trying to be better. The other alternative, which some scapegoats do, is just like, well, screw you all, I'm going to go off and become that bad person that you want. Sadly, that's when some of us get into spaces of addiction and self-harm and self-sabotage, where we're almost becoming what they want us to be, because it's a lose-lose. Because if we become more successful, we're even more in the firing line. And so it's kind of like, which path do we choose? Do we choose to be the failure that they're kind of pushing us into? Or do we choose to try and prove them wrong and try and be better? But then the more success we have, the more of a threat that we are. And so when we get into adult life especially, and it's really obvious on a sibling perspective, where we're no longer children, where we're in charge of our own destiny, and the scapegoated sibling is actually doing quite well. Maybe we had more of a job promotion, maybe we live in a bigger house, maybe we just made different life choices. And again, it's just different choices, but we're doing well in ways that our siblings are very, very uncomfortable with, and they don't want to see it. And it doesn't fit with this narrative that actually they're better than we are. And so what can happen is that whatever we do, no matter how we play this relationship, it's just not going to work, because we're dealing with people who are constantly comparing, can't be happy for us if we're doing okay, and sometimes sadly they want to knock us down. And so what do we do with these relationships? I think it really depends on what we're being asked to do to fit in with the family. Can we ignore our siblings or whoever it is? Can we ignore their jealousy and this rivalry and just kind of continue doing us and just let them do their thing in the background and it's okay? Can we do that? Or actually, do we find that it's just too hard, that for whatever reason the ties that connect us to these family members are so strong that they stop us doing what we need to do? Are we preventing ourselves from making the decisions that we want to make in our relationships, in our careers? Is it affecting our health by hiding who we are and by making these choices that they will approve of rather than that are right for us? It all depends on the situation and the closeness and also the other supports that we have in our lives. But really, ultimately, if we have people, siblings, friends, partner, parents, bosses, it doesn't matter who, but if we have people in our lives who aren't able to support us to be the best versions of ourselves that we want to be, if they're not able to support us to do well, to be able to be there with us when life is good and also when it's challenging, if they're not able to kind of let us be us, then really we end up at some point having to make really stark choices between, can I live my life for me, or am I going to let these people and these rules dictate what I need to do? I don't think it's possible to live a healthy, balanced, good life when we're living by someone else's rules. And I think sometimes we get to the point where we can become so unable and so unhappy or so ill by living under other people's rules that we have to make these choices for ourselves, even if we really don't want to. But ultimately, that's our job. That's everybody's job. We need to live our own lives. And so if we have jealous siblings, then sometimes we just need to say, well, okay, that's your thing. If that's what you need to do, if that's your thing, you do you, but I need to do me. That's it from me today, friends. I hope you found it helpful wherever you are, whatever you're dealing with. I wish you all the best. So stay strong, stay safe, be kind, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.